I've got Dr. Foster, series 1 and 2. This is one of my favourite dramas I've ever watched. This is really, really gripping stuff. It's sort of based around the breakdown of a relationship of this woman who's a doctor, and that's her husband, and sort of lots of things going on. It's really like tense stuff where you've got to keep watching, you've got to watch the next episode. I watched it on television, the first series, and it's really hard because you've got to wait a week for the next episode, and you desperately want to know what's going on next. This is probably one of the most gripping ones I've watched, again with Saran Jones in. She's definitely one of my favourites. And then the second series takes a bit of a different turn, and at first I wasn't sure whether it would be as good as the first series, but I think I might have enjoyed that even more. I won't say what happens in that because it kind of spoil the first series. You definitely need to watch the first series first. But yeah, again, like super gripping. You don't really know what's going on and how it's all going to end, but I definitely recommend that one. Out of all of this pile, probably I'd recommend that one the most. The C Word is a drama based around this one who has, I think, it's breast cancer. Just a kind of emotional drama, something that makes you cry. I picked this one up cheap because I missed it on TV, and I really like Sheridan Smith, and she was really good in it. I'd recommend that if you like kind of dramas and don't mind a few tears. True Love is basically 6 totally separate dramas. I think it's 6, or is it 5? Because there's only 5 people on the front. Does it say how many there are? Oh yeah, 5. I always thought there were 6 for some reason. Yeah, 5. I bought it mainly because David Tennant is in it, who I've mentioned before is not my favourite Doctor. But I don't actually think his was my favourite. I think actually there was I can't remember which ones now because I watched this about 2 years ago now, and I'd definitely like to watch it again. But I think there was a different 2 that ended up being my favourite. They're all really different kind of things. Not all happy endings. Some based around problems to do with love and falling in love, all sorts of different things. I think this is a good one because obviously you don't have to watch them all in a row if you want. You can watch them separately. They're totally separate stories. And definitely if you like David Tennant, I'd recommend this. Oh, if you like Doctor Who, because also Billie Piper is from Doctor Who I also like. I think her episode was actually my favourite. And then I've got Casual Vacancy, which is based on the book by J.K. Rowling. I really liked this one. I really enjoyed the book. It wasn't as good as the book. They changed a few things, and there were a few members of the cast I wasn't sure about. But as a whole, I quite enjoyed it because I really did like the book, and I was looking forward to seeing an adaptation of it. So if you did like the book, then I'd recommend this. I mean, you don't have to have read the book to watch this either, but I think it's probably more for fans of the book. And then there's Our Girl, which is based around this woman who's, a young woman whose life isn't going very well, and basically she stumbles into an army recruitment place and drunk, I think she throws up on the doorstep and ends up joining the army and changing her life. Now this was a one-off feature-length thing, or possibly in 2 parts, when I watched it a few years ago, and they've since turned it into a TV series. I think there's 3 or 4 series after this now. They've changed the main girl, she's played by somebody else now. So I don't know whether I'll watch all of them. I'd definitely like to at least pick up the first series who's got the same girl and see what I think. If I like it, then maybe I'll continue on to the next series. But I really did like this, and you can just watch this on its own if you don't want to continue onto the series. It's it's fine as a standalone thing. That's Our Girl. And then finally, I've got Soldier Soldier, which is something that I watched when I was I started watching it when I was maybe like 11, 12. And I really loved it. I wouldn't go out with my friends when it was on. I was obsessed with it, and I loved these 2 main guys in it who you might recognise. They've both been in quite a few things since. Jerome Flynn is obviously in Game of Thrones, and Robson Green's been in quite a few things, particularly if you're from England, then you might know him from, he's been in Grantchester, Wire in the Blood. I can't think. He does like a fishing series, which is quite popular, Extreme Fishing or something. But yeah, I was obsessed with those 2 guys. I was only really young, but I just wanted to buy this and rewatch it, and I've rewatched the whole box set. I'm on my second rewatch of it, and it's just nice to watch something that I loved when I was younger. If you didn't watch it back in the day, I don't know if you would enjoy it now. It is quite dated, but if you did, then I'd recommend picking up the box set. It's quite cheap, and it's kind of nice it's comforting to watch something like from the early 90s. And that's it for part 5, and I'll see you in part 6. Thanks.